Welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let us look at the previous day's question. With reference to the corporate social responsibility, consider the following statements. 1. India was the first country to make CSR spending mandatory under the Companies Act 2013. 2. CSR rules apply to companies that have a net worth exceeding Rs 500 crore, a turnover exceeding Rs 1000 crore, or a net profit of Rs 5 crore or more. 3. CSR spending does not include contributions to government relief funds such as the PM CARES Fund and PM Relief Fund. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is B. Corporate social responsibility refers to a company's responsibility towards society and the environment. India is the first country to make CSR spending mandatory under Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013, providing a structured framework for eligible activities. Hence, Statement 1 is correct. CSR rules apply to companies that in the preceding financial year have a net worth exceeding Rs 500 crore or a turnover over Rs 1000 crore or a net profit of Rs 5 crore or more. Hence, Statement 2 is correct. Such companies must spend at least 2% of their average net profit of the last 3 financial years on CSR activities. CSR spending covers areas like eradicating poverty, promoting education and gender equality, fighting diseases like HIV or AIDS, ensuring environmental sustainability, and contributing to government relief funds like PM CARES and PM Relief Fund for socio-economic development and the welfare of disadvantaged groups. Hence, Statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer.
Welcome SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way. With free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Now let us look at the first question. Which state has been declared the first digitally literate state in India? A. Kerala, B. Tamil Nadu, C. Maharashtra, D. Karnataka. The correct answer is A. Kerala has been declared the first fully digitally literate state in India, marking a milestone in bridging the digital divide through the Digi Keralam project. Digi Keralam project targeted senior citizens, homemakers, and digitally excluded groups using youth volunteers and the K-Smart Kerala Solutions for Managing Administrative Reform and Transformation platform to provide online access services, boosting inclusion and governance. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 2. Consider the following pairs. We have type of hydrogen and its production process. 1. Blue hydrogen, electrolysis of water using renewable energy. 2. Green hydrogen, steam reforming with carbon capture and storage. 3. Grey hydrogen, steam reforming without CCS. How many of the pairs given above is or are correctly matched? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, D. None. The correct answer is A. Blue hydrogen is produced from natural gas through steam reforming, where hydrogen is the main output and CO2 is a byproduct. The CO2 is captured and stored underground using carbon capture and storage technology. Hence, pair 1 is not correctly matched. Green hydrogen is produced by using renewable energy to split water into hydrogen and oxygen through electrolysis with zero CO2 emissions. Hence, pair 2 is not correctly matched. Grey hydrogen, the most common form, is produced from natural gas through steam methane reforming without capturing the emitted greenhouse gases, unlike blue hydrogen which uses CCS. Hence, pair 3 is correctly matched. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 3. The Galapagos Island, known for their unique species and role in development of the theory of evolution, are part of which country? A. Peru, B. Ecuador, C. Chile, D. Colombia. The correct answer is B. The Galapagos archipelago, spread over nearly 60,000 square kilometers, is part of Ecuador and lies in the Pacific Ocean, about 1,000 kilometers from the South American mainland. Recognized for its unique biodiversity, Ecuador declared portions of the islands a wildlife sanctuary in 1935, which was later upgraded to the Galapagos National Park in 1959. In 1978, the archipelago became UNESCO's first World Heritage Site, reflecting its global ecological significance. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 4. Consider the following statements. 1. The Narcotics Control Bureau was established under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985 and it functions under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. 2. Article 47 of the Indian Constitution directs the state to prohibit consumption of intoxicating drugs except for medicinal use. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is B. The Narcotics Control Bureau was established in 1985 under the Narcotic Drug and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985 as the nodal agency for enforcement of drug laws in India. The NCB functions under the Ministry of Home Affairs, not the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Article 47 of the Constitution directs the state to prohibit the consumption of intoxicating drugs injurious to health except for medicinal purposes. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following pairs of crocodiles and their IUCN status. 1. Mugger, marsh crocodile, vulnerable. 2. Saltwater crocodile, least concerned. 3. Ghadial, critically endangered. Which of the above pairs is or are correctly matched? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is D. Mugger, vulnerable, also in CITES Appendix 1, WPA 1972 Schedule 1. Saltwater crocodile, least concern, IUCN, CITES Appendix 1, except some populations in Appendix 2, WPA 1972 Schedule 1. Ghadial, critically endangered, IUCN, CITES Appendix 1, WPA 1972 Schedule 1. Hence, all pairs are correctly matched. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Consider the following statements. 1. National Space Day was first celebrated in India to mark the launch of country's first satellite Aryabhat. 2. Indian Space Policy 2023 applies to all space activities in Indian territory and its exclusive economic zone. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is B. India celebrated its maiden National Space Day on 23rd August 2024 to commemorate the successful soft landing of Chandrayaan-3's mission Vikram lander and the deployment of Pragyan rover on Moon on 23rd August 2023. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. The Indian Space Policy 2023 aims to boost space capabilities, encourage private sector participation, drive technological advancement, and strengthen international cooperation. Indian Space Policy 2023 applies to all space activities in Indian territory and its exclusive economic zone, with the government retaining the right to grant exemptions on a case-by-case basis. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 7. Consider the following statements about Agni-5. 1. It is a surface-to-surface ballistic missile. 2. It has multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle technology. 3. It is the only missile developed under India's Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is A. Agni-5 is a nuclear-capable surface-to-surface ballistic missile and is powered by a 3-stage solid-fuel engine. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It is multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle capable, placing India among the few nations, US, Russia, China and France with such technology. Hence, statement 2 is correct. It was developed under India's Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. It is one of the 5 missiles developed under IGMDP, along with Prithvi, Trishul, Nag, and Akash. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 8. The term silver economy that has gained prominence in policy discussions in India can be best described as A. The total value of precious metals like silver held as reserves by the central bank. B. The economic activities and market opportunities arising from the public and private spending of the elderly population. C. A special economic zone dedicated to industries led by experienced senior entrepreneurs. D. A sovereign wealth fund created to manage the pension liabilities of an aging population. The correct answer is B. The silver economy encompasses all economic activities, goods, and services specifically designed to meet the needs and demands of the senior citizen population. This includes healthcare, housing, wellness, insurance, and technology tailored for the elderly. According to the Technical Group on Population Projections, India's elderly population will rise from 103.8 million in 2011 to 193.4 million by 2031. According to the United Nations Population Fund, India's elderly population is set to double over 20% by 2050, surpassing children by 2046. Senior citizens are becoming key economic players, creating opportunities in healthcare, technology, insurance, housing, and wellness. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 9. Consider the following statements regarding rubella. 1. It is a bacterial infection that primarily causes high fever and severe respiratory distress in children. 2. The most severe consequences of the disease are observed in pregnant women, leading to congenital rubella syndrome in newborns. 3. The Universal Immunization Program aims to eliminate rubella in India by 2026. How many of the statements given above are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is B. Rubella is a highly contagious viral infection caused by the rubella virus, an enveloped single-stranded RNA virus which causes mild fever and rash. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Its impact is mild in children and adults but poses serious risks to pregnant women, potentially leading to miscarriage, stillbirth, or congenital rubella syndrome in infants. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The National Zero Measles Rubella Elimination Campaign under the Universal Immunization Program aims to eliminate measles and rubella in India by 2026 through 100% immunization coverage. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 10. With reference to the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2003, consider the following statements. 1. It mandates the Finance Minister to present a medium-term fiscal policy statement to Parliament outlining 3-year rolling targets for key fiscal indicators. 2. The Act, as amended, sets a target to reduce the central government's debt to 40% of GDP by 2024-25. 3. The Controller and Auditor General of India conducts annual reviews to assess the government's compliance with the FRBM targets. How many of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is C. The Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2003 was enacted to reduce fiscal deficits and promote long-term macroeconomic stability and intergenerational equity. The Act mandates the presentation of the MTFP statement, which outlines 3-year rolling targets for key fiscal indicators like revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, and central government debt as a percentage of GDP. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The 2018 amendment set targets to reduce general government debt, center plus states excluding intergovernmental liabilities, to 60% of GDP and central government debt to 40% by financial year 2024-25. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The fiscal deficit target is 3% of GDP by March 2021. The government now commits to FD below 4.5% of GDP by 2025-26. The Controller and Auditor General of India conducts annual reviews to assess the government's compliance with the FRBM targets. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Now, let us look at a practice question. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution are related to prohibiting bonded labor and protecting individuals from forced or exploitative work? 1. Article 21, 2. Article 23, 3. Article 24, 4. Article 25. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1, 2, 3 and 4. D. 1 and 3 only. Please provide your answers in the comment section.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.